Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Stop! What on earth are you talking about? Or whatever the infernal thing is.
It's something you say when you don't know what to say.
Well, I always know what to say. If you so much as step 1 foot in here with that trolley, I shall scream. One cannot live on cake alone.
Hello and welcome to Uncensored Development. This is Just Two Eyes, and this is a breakdown in 10 minutes or less of Saving Mr. Banks. Now I'm going to try to break this movie down in 10 minutes or less, which might be a little difficult because it's kind of two movies in one. So let's get started. Now because this is two movies at once, it is told through the eyes of Miss Travers, P.L. Travers, played by Emma Thompson, who is one of my favorite actresses and a hilariously funny woman. The movie is explained through the eyes of a little girl leading up to her father's death, and also through her eyes as an adult, making the movie Mary Poppins with Walt Disney, played by Tom Hanks. Now Tom Hanks in this movie absolutely kills it as Disney. Walt Disney is a warm, kind, somewhat crazy, very powerful man. And my absolute favorite moments, which are actually just two, when Tom Hanks does Disney as a very serious man who loves this movie, and when he portrays that, when he actually becomes more dramatic. My two favorite parts of the movie, without a doubt. Now, Mrs. Travers, as she likes to be called, is very hesitant and very hard to work with. She doesn't want to make this into a movie at all, but she's being talked into it, she's being coerced into it, but it's clear that she doesn't want to. Now let's talk about her as a little girl and kind of get the majority of that story out of the way, because if it was a standalone movie, it would be very sad and heartbreaking. Like, it is a sad side of that movie. Now it's her sister, her mom, and her dad. Wonderful actors and actresses, by the way. Her dad is played by Colin Farrell, who is an absolute drunk. And I love the way the movie portrays it. Like in the beginning of the movie, when you kind of first get a feeling of him, he seems to be, what he acts as if he doesn't know who his daughter is, what's her name, or what she looks like. And of course, it's a cute daddy-daughter interaction. Then later on in the movie, it happens again, but in a very, very sad way. It happens in the way of that he's on stage giving this whole speech, which I'm gonna get to later, and he wants her to come up on stage, and he looks at it and he's like, "What's your name?" But it's a really sad moment because that's when she and everybody else finds out that he's a fucking drunk. So that means at the beginning of the movie, when it happened and it seemed like a cute little moment, he was drunk and he probably actually forgot. Her mother, who is played by Ruth Wilson, wonderful actress, she portrayed this well, and it's another very sad thing. In the beginning of the movie, she doesn't want to leave. She doesn't want to leave her house, and it's a very nice house. They have maids and servants, so apparently they're already well off in money, I can assume. So what is he exactly going to do? Or is it the bank just moving him because he is a bank worker, Mr. Banks? Get it? All of her scenes, all of her scenes and everything in the movie is kind of this. You know, that face kind of explains her throughout the whole movie. You know, it's nice to see a smile, it's nice to see a little variation, but the majority is just that face. It's kind of sad. And of course, because of alcoholism and liver damage and everything else, he dies in the movie. Spoiler alert, he dies with his eyes open. Now, the woman in the movie who is portrayed as Mary Poppins is Aunt Ellie, played by Rachel Griffiths. And she does what she has to do. Apparently, she seems like she's an actual doctor who's there to help him get over his illness. And I wish they would have shown more of her. You know, especially since she's the big influence of the book and she's there to be a nanny and a doctor and everything else in the actual Mary Poppins movie. In the actual story of the movie, she was there to be a doctor to her dad to save him from the brink of death and his liver damage. And me personally, I wanted to see more of what really inspired this. Why is Mary Poppins, well, one, in the actual movie, why is it all centered around Mary Poppins and everything that happens? And she's, you know, title name, all of the action and events happen to her and what happens with her throughout the movie. And I would like to know more of the character who inspired Mary Poppins. And through you find out the movie is actually about Mary Poppins, or Aunt Ellie, saving Mr. Banks. Title name. Now let's transfer over to her as an adult. Amazing. every single person in this cast is amazing. Favorite character, Ralph, played by Paul Giamatti, who is one of the best, good in everything that he's in. He brings his Paul Giamatti-ness to everything, and it just shines through. And he is amazing in this movie. Yeah, Miss Travers kills it. Walt Disney kills it. The guys kill it, but Ralph just really rounds the movie out for me. He's her chauffeur and also kind of the heart of it. Like he's the one who not relates to her, but show her a kind of nicer side, and actually brings out a kind of nicer side of her when she's not being a complete and total absolute bitch to everybody else. Let's talk about Dolly, played by Melina Paxson, for a second. She's the kind of assistant that I would love to see on everything. You know, funny, cute, willing to do what it takes to get the job done, but still has her own like sense of personality and being. You know, I like that. And she was funny. Oh, was she funny. And the Sherman Brothers, the composers of the music, played by B.J. Novak and Jason Schwartzman. I love hearing those songs as if they were actually made and thought of for the very first time. Like all of the songs that we love from Mary Poppins, to see it in that context really brings them a lot of heart and thought, and really lets you know how special each and every song is. And then Bradley Whitford, the screenwriter, the guy who plays Don in the movie, he's amazing there too. He's the one who holds the group together. He's the one who's like, okay, Miss Travers, yes, Miss Travers. You know, the guy who's the middleman, which isn't a bad thing. He's amazing at it. Everybody in this movie just really rounds it out and brings it together. And I love seeing the transition of Mrs. Travers from start to end. And another one of my favorite scenes, not my favorite, but it's down the list because you know my favorite scenes, is her breakdown when they're doing the bank song of, you know, when her dad is explaining why it's good to have a bank account and everything. And the transition from them making the song at the time and then her dad up on stage singing it, and then how they kind of weave it together to make it seem like Colin Farrell is actually singing to the audience. That was so well done and so powerfully just put out there. You felt it, okay? You really felt it. And then when she had a breakdown and the crew kind of understood, oh, so they don't really get it, but through her eyes, they see that her dad, to her, really messed her up, you know? And that's when they see that it is her in the book, you know, that she is the daughter in Mary Poppins, you know. And it's one of those movies that I wanted more of. I wanted not just more of the movie, but more interactions between the people in the movie. You know, like I get it's trying to make the movie, it's trying to make the songs, trying to make sure everything goes right with the script, trying to make sure she's happy, but I like the little interactions. I like the scene when Walt walks in on one of the Sherman Brothers, Nick Swartzen. When he walks in and he's singing the Tuppence song. I love that scene so much. Like that, just that little moment was just, it brought so much to the movie. But all in all, it's a wonderful movie, and it really puts you in to the world of what's going on behind the scenes. And then if you watch that and Mary Poppins back to back, wow, it's like you get it. When you watch the movies, it's like, oh yeah, that happened because of this now, and that's why this is happening, and that's why they're that way. And it just connects the dots, and it makes the movie a much and more enjoyable experience. So let me know what you think. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you feel like it, and whatever the hell else people say at the end of these things. Bye.